This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Revolution with Juan McCartney is brought to you in part by Burger King, Fidelity Bank, TF Express Delivery, Lawrence Electric Motors, Commonwealth Bank, Bahamas Bus and Truck Company Limited, J.S. Johnson, Wendy's, and LA Impact Windows and Doors.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Revolution here on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. My name is Juan McCartney. So good to have you with us. We got a couple of things going on today. The first thing that I wanted to deal with was the government's plans for the Grand Bahama International Airport, which Minister D'Aguilar talked about at length today. However, I don't have his speech as yet, so I don't want to just wing it, but I can go through some of the details that he gave us previously during the mid-year budget, and I could go through some of the things that are certain that he did say today. But before I do that, what I want to do is to go over something that I found interesting that just came out yesterday. So this is Supreme Court Justice Indra Charles ruling on an application for judicial review of the implementation of the emergency orders by Dwight Armbrister, owner of D. Waters Cafe. This application for judicial review, because he says he was adversely impacted, well, he was, we don't have to guess, he was adversely impacted by the emergency order, has to do with the fact that his business at Arawak Key was forced to close. Now, what I found interesting about this is not that it was rejected, because the reason she rejected it is that she says he should not have filed an application for judicial review. What he should have done was to file an application for a constitutional motion. All right? Therefore, she said it cannot be considered because it has to do with Article 29(2) of the Constitution. All right? He argues that it was not reasonably required, the tenets of the emergency order, to meet the result that the government was seeking to have. So the government didn't have to shut down everything through emergency powers in order to meet the result, which is what a lot of people have been saying, including myself, that they could have done this through legislation, particularly after a year. And even Carl Bethel, the Attorney General, says that they are now working on legislation to do what the emergency orders. This was filed by Armbrister Wayne Monroe, Bjorn Ferguson, and several others were working on a constitutional motion to challenge the emergency order under the grounds of reasonable justifiability. However, when the government opened things back up, the lawyers were like, forget it, and let's go back to work. She doesn't say that he doesn't have merit. What she does say is that these are constitutional concerns. All right? So, what I find interesting in this is, again, not that she's rejected his application for judicial review, but she essentially tells him the approach that he should have taken. And in telling him the approach that he should have taken, to me, she comes very close to hinting that they may be in violation of the Constitution, or they may have been in violation of the Constitution in terms of reasonable justifiability. And she outlines for us what justifiably reasonable is. Because if you read Article 29, it says that you can do these things as long as they're justified, as long as it's reasonably justified. All right? Let's take a look. Sorry, let me get my glasses real quick. I'm an old man now, and I need glasses to read. I'm no longer ashamed of this. It is what it is. I don't have the eyes of a young boy anymore. For years, I was so comfortable. I was like, no, I don't need glasses to read. Look at you people falling apart. All right, so let's go through it. What does this say? Juan, how are you? 2 straight F&M, F&M. Okay. It says, Juan, you hear Lincoln Baines saying you're wrong about the permit for the boat? Jesus. No, I didn't hear him say that. I thought he was boycotting Guardian Radio. Y'all keep telling me it's a boycott, and then I keep hearing Guardian Radio and Juan and all this. I don't know. All right. Okay. And no, listen, I can't talk for a third day straight about what happened with the DNA. I spoke to it. I've cited the law. If you disagree, then knock yourself out. Challenge it at some point in court. All right. In terms of rehashing this for a third day in a row, I really don't have the energy or the time for it. I just can't do it. Among the things that I would rather do would be, seppuku, Japanese ritual suicide, right? This sort of thing. It's just not that interesting to sustain us for a third day straight. All right. It would be like if Skip and Shannon were talking about the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL so far, and they spent a day on Tom Brady and a day on Peyton Manning, and then they spent an entire 2 days on Jameis Winston. You know what I mean? Like, come on. You're in the conversation. Be happy about that. You're part of it, but don't act like it's something it's not. You know what I mean? You got to come to the table with at least one MVP, right? One Super Bowl ring for us to put you in this conversation. I mean, and I like y'all, and I'm going to have you on the show, but I'm not going to continue this. You don't have parliamentary representation. You only did once when Branville was appointed under Loretta when she was leader of Her Majesty's Loyal Opposition. So we can't we can't continue going on with this. All right? Not at the moment. If something else develops, then certainly, we can do that. All right. Now you have caused me to lose my place in this. Ugh. Great. All right. Fine. I got to re-find it. I'll forget it. All right. Forget it. Let's talk about the hotel. I'll just find it on the break. Hey, Juan, instead of that generic and annoying music you play before your show comes on, why don't you guys play Junkanoo music? They usually would play Junkanoo music. If Kermie was on the board, he would have played Junkanoo music. Juan, when you need glasses to read, you're ready to join the Johnny Walker Blue Club. Welcome. I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. I had someone send me a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue recently. It was very good. Thank you so much for that. Juan, what's this I see about being closed off as private property? Looks like Cabbage Beach. I don't know. I don't know what you have seen. Juan, sounds like you need a scotch. LL, you tired already? I mean, you know when you make this mention of something makes you tired before you start. I can't go on for 3 days with this. I don't have it. I don't have it. I really don't have it. All right, so I can't find where I am in terms of the reasonably justifiable clause of this. So I'll have to go back through it because you caused me to lose my place. But what I want to talk about then is the sale of the Grand Lucayan. All right. And what the government and the purchase of the Grand Bahama International Airport. So the government is purchasing the Grand Bahama International Airport for $1. All right. Now, that's good. I agree with purchasing the airport. The airport terminal building was effectively destroyed. It has flooded and been damaged by hurricanes numerous times. So it would be foolhardy to leave the terminal, to me, where it is. Diagler said, again, I don't have a specific speech from today yet, so I often don't feel comfortable saying these things, and I'm going to go back and amend them, going off just memory. Diagler said the new airport should cost $40 to $50 million. Now, that to me seems strange, but I'll get back to that. So the airport terminal should not be rebuilt where it is. Now, I'm not saying to go put it at the old U.S. airport site. I think that's too far away from the city center, and I think that you won't generate the activity that you need to really boost Freeport in terms of putting it there because there's nobody out there. I think it makes sense to either raise the terminal building up about 15 feet, not 100 feet, like someone had suggested after Dorian, and barring that, move the terminal to, I believe, the west, where the land did not flood during Dorian. Okay? I do believe that land is owned by either the government or the Grand Bahama Development Company, in which Hutchison has a huge stake. Now, Hutchison has overall been a blessing for Freeport. And we thank you, Ingram, right, for wooing them, courting them, whatever. However, I question letting Hutchison take over the Grand Lucayan, and I question giving Hutchison a stake in the airport. So what is now going to happen is we're going to buy it from them for $1, which ain't bad, because that runway is still worth plenty money. The land is still worth money. But Hutchison would have collected the insurance settlement already, and the government, Diagler says, is still going to invest about $1.6 million in doing some repairs at the site. Now, I don't like that part of it. I think if Hutchison collected the insurance money, Hutchison should have made a fair settlement to say, look, we'll do these repairs, or here, take that $1.5 million. Now, when Michael Pintard was speaking, he threw, the entire tree worth of shade at Hutchison, because Hutchison has not fulfilled its duties to invest in that airport, which was losing money, and it has not fulfilled its duty to invest and promote the Grand Lucayan. All right, Hutchison wanted the port. They didn't want the airport. They didn't want the hotel, as far as I understand it. So Hutchison's probably lost several $100 million between the hotel and the airport over the years. But I don't like the look and feel, although I do agree with purchasing the airport, I don't like the look and feel of the government picking up these assets that a $1 billion corporation just didn't feel inclined to invest in. All right, so we've now bought the hotel, which I don't like. I don't care how you try to spin it. I don't like it. All right, not a wise investment. And now we've bought the airport, which I don't have a problem with, and here's why. Hutchison wasn't taking care of it. Hutchison was not properly structuring the fees at the airport to make it a more affordable destination. The problem with Freeport is it costs more to go into Freeport than it costs to fly over Freeport to come to New Providence. The problem with Freeport is it costs more to go from Fort Lauderdale to Freeport than it costs to go from Fort Lauderdale to Vegas because of the various airport fees. Now, we'll talk about the fee structure moving forward. But what we're going to have to do is not only build a very nice airport, I'm not saying go crazy, but we're also going to have to make it an affordable airport to fly into so that it is a destination of choice for people who want to explore Grand Bahama. All right? After that, you're going to have to figure out some attractions in Grand Bahama in order to make it that much more attractive. All right? So it'll be less expensive, hopefully, to fly into Grand Bahama than it will be into Nassau. And people are going to come to Nassau anyway because Atlantis is here, Baha Mar is here. It's a hub to get to the other islands as it stands. All right? Now, Diagler says they're going to cost $40 to $50 million, right? It's going to cost $40 to $50 million to build a new airport there. Now, I find that odd, all right? Because, and again, I wanted to have his speech here with me, so I'm not missing anything or misrepresenting what he said. I really do. I don't usually operate this way. But I asked him for the speech. He didn't respond. I asked Bahamas Information Service for the speech. They said they didn't have it, which I find weird, but okay. I find it weird that he says the Grand Bahama Airport is going to cost $40 to $50 million, but the Exuma Airport is going to cost $65 million. I don't know that Exuma needs a $65 million airport. The Eleuthera Airport is going to cost $65 million. I don't know that Eleuthera, Northern Eleuthera, you know I love y'all, that they need a $65 million airport. The Long Island Airport is going to cost like $45 million. I think that's what he said. I'll double check. I don't know that they need that. All right? But I don't understand how Grand Bahama's Airport, which, you know, essentially needs to be built from scratch, is going to cost less than the other thing. The next thing is, Diagler says, we just don't have the money as the government to keep pouring in to build these airports that are needed and to maintain them. All right? Which I'm with you. And so therefore we're going to go into a public-private partnership and have a facility sort of like NAD, let's call it FAD, Freeport Airport Development Company, right? To build the airport, maintain it, run it. Fine. Now you say we're going to source this money through a local lending institution. That's fine as well. However, as far as I'm aware, that money has not yet been sourced. So what are we going to start building the airport with if not government money? The other part of the deal that I'm iffy about, but I have no choice about, but I'll take it, is that DevCo, which is Grand Bahama Development Company, is still allowed to leave the surrounding area undeveloped. And I don't have any choice about that, but I think what needs to happen is, at some point, and Ingram said this, but at some point, you're going to have to pull this trigger and figure out if you don't want the government to buy the Port Authority. All right? That's me. You have to figure out at some point, because it ain't no point in putting a world-class airport there if you're not seeing the kind of development throughout Grand Bahama and Freeport to make it attractive. All right? Yes, you got beaches and all that, and it's very nice. But you need something to really bolster that population, to really set it on fire. Right? Get the economy going. Now, a part of the deal I do like is that the employees of Grand Bahama International Airport are going to be severed from Hutchison when Hutchison sells the airport to the government. And Hutchison is going to pay those employees severance. And so to me, it seems like you have learned something from the Grand Lucayan deal. Because in the Grand Lucayan deal, Hutchison was allowed to get a $30 million cash payment, give you a $35 million mortgage, keep the insurance money from the previous hurricanes, and you then took on the employment of all the people who work for Grand Lucayan for Hutchison. Now, I'm not saying you should have let them dangle, but you should have made Hutchison either discount you the hotel price, which you bought it over the appraised value, or you should have made Hutchison pay those employees what was owed for years, because we took on not only severance, but years of back pay. And those employees have gotten paid, and that is a positive outcome out of the entire deal. But net, the deal was a loser, in my humble opinion. So the airport deal is now structured differently than it was with the hotel. Another part of the deal I like, and again, I wanted to give you more specifics today, but another part of the deal I like is that the airport will no longer need to pay any fees to the port. All right? All the fees will now come to the new management company, right? Which will run the airport, which will still be owned by the government of the Bahamas. So I like that. Another part of the deal I like is that the airport authority will still be subject to getting the same concessions as if it were a port licensee, but it's going to operate independently of the port. And I like that. It seems like that was much better thought through than the Grand Lucayan deal. So I'm positive, all right, overall, on the purchase of Grand Bahama International Airport. And I believe the PLP also supports the purchase of the Grand Bahama International. Well, let me not swear for the PLP. I think Glennis Hannah Martin's talking now. I'll wait to hear what she has to say. So I'm positive overall on the purchase of the airport. So you won't hear the same heat from me on this, even though this took a long time, even though I would have conducted a compulsory acquisition anyway. But you won't hear the same heat from me on this deal as you did from the hotel deal. This deal seems to be a better deal to me. Perfect? No. Better? Yes. But as we say, we're not going to let the perfect be the enemy of the good. So I'll take this deal. Now, let's look at the surrounding concerns. As I said, there's no point to me in purchasing this airport if you don't have a plan for Grand Bahama. Now, let's walk through it. Because I know what you're going to say. Well, we got a plan, bruh. Right? We going to sell the hotel, which, we ain't going to. And we going to have them redevelop the harbor, right? And then we going to have Carnival Cruise Port up and running, and it's all going to be great. And we're going to have a tech hub and all. Yeah. Okay. Let's walk through this. So, firstly, you haven't concluded the sale to Royal Caribbean, ITM. That's the first thing. Second thing is we don't know the terms of the deal. You were straight up with it last time and quick to say that you're going to get your $65 million back and you're not really going to lose money on the deal, even though you did. But now we're not hearing what the terms of the deal are. Diagler says we're certainly going to lose money on it. I'm not going to kick you too much while you're down today. But we told you that this wasn't going to work with the hotel. So you're going to lose money on it. And if nothing else, the people of Grand Bahama who work for Arlucar and their families got paid out, even though you could have just done that out of the treasury, made an ex gratia payment to take care of them people. You ain't had to buy the hotel, but we're not going to dwell on that. And then you're going to say, well, ITM and Royal Caribbean, they're going to buy the hotel, they're going to redevelop the harbor, they're going to have that nice attraction that we all saw the pretty pictures of, and then we're going to do Carnival Cruise Port, and it's going to be great, it's going to be fantastic, XYZ. So you ain't closed the Royal Caribbean deal yet. So we don't know when that's going to materialize, so that's years off, more than likely, because Royal Caribbean's going to have to take a moment to catch its breath anyway. Royal Caribbean A set up like Disney to just invest deeply, even though one arm has lost a ton of money, right? So Disney, they long game it. I'm not saying Royal Caribbean don't, and it's run by chimps. I'm just saying that Disney's still going, we're putting this money on the ground in Eleuthera, regardless of whether we're sailing or not. Royal Caribbean hasn't taken such a position. They're moving more slowly with it because their main revenue stream is the cruise line, and Disney still has options, right? The Carnival Cruise Port was supposed to be done a couple of years now, and it's, according to Carnival, to paraphrase, being slow-walked through the government. Now, they say they're waiting on permits. Now, Romy Ferreira got up. There's a guy at my gym who keeps telling me Romy Ferreira is my cousin. I should talk to my cousin, Romy Ferreira. And I had to tell him every day for like a month, he ain't my cousin, right? We ain't kidding, you know what I'm saying? So, Romy Ferreira got up and announced an assembly, and he said that Carnival has not answered the questions about its EIA that the Best Commission, I believe it was, sent back to them. So Carnival sends an EIA, right? And then they go, okay, great, now give me the permit, give me the permit, give me the permit. And they say, well, we've been waiting 2 years now for permits to move forward with XYZ, and the government ain't done it. And Romy Ferreira got up and he said, well, we sent you 50 questions about your EIA that you haven't responded to us on. Now, I'm going to say that's not good enough, right? Yes, Carnival should respond to the questions, but you don't sit there, as this would have sounded like to me, unless you could tell me different, and I'll be happy to have Romy Ferreira on. You don't sit there and go, well, I'll wait for them to respond. No one does that, right? If you put in a job application, you don't go, hey, man, I'm going to just shoot it there. If I never hear back, fine. You put in the application, you go, yo, what's wrong? What's going on with my permit? Or a better example, if you send something to the Ministry of Works, right, where plans apparently go to die, you don't just sit there after 6 months and don't ask what happened with your plan to the Ministry of Works. You go check on it, right? Same thing with the Ministry of Works. Let me give a different example. The Department of Inland Revenue, right? They don't just send you a query and let it go. And you know what? I'm impressed with the Department of Inland Revenue. I won't lie. All right? I heard some people have had bad experiences with them. I've had good experiences with them, knock on wood, right? Department of Inland Revenue, they send you a query. They don't just let that die. They follow up. Hey, we sent you a query. Where is it? So it's not good enough for me to the Ministry of the Environment, from what it sounds like, to say, we sent you 50 questions, but we ain't heard back, so everything just dead in the water. Someone really needs to be wrapping their arms around this project. Like, pick someone competent, Romy, and tell them, you in charge of Carnival, bruh. This is an important project. Someone from Grand Bahama, the Ministry of Grand Bahama, the OPM in Grand Bahama needs to be checking on it. This is an important project. I'm going to check on it weekly. Carnival, let me know. We got our lawyers checking on. We got to, fine, let me know. You got to answer for one question. You got to answer for two questions. What is it? Like, to make sure the project gets going, because you can't, it's no good to sign an agreement, because Christy them signed the agreement. Right? Christy them signed the agreement. That's how long it's been lingering. So you really, as far as I'm aware, got to wrap your arms around these things. So it's not fair to Grand Bahama to just let it sit there for a couple of years and go, well, we're doing our best. You got to get it going. So that's what they're going to say their plan is for Grand Bahama. But to me, the plan is in motion, but it's moving at a snail's pace. And this thing, you got to run with this thing now. You can't crawl with it. We got to take a break. We'll be right back.
In life, there are always challenges. Today, we find ourselves having to be more self-sufficient, socially aware, and technically savvy. At J.S. Johnson, we are committed to our customers by providing cost-effective insurance solutions. No matter what your insurance needs, we will always be here for you. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com. J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
There's only one way to have a better morning.
How?
Start your mornings the best way with our 2 for $6 breakfast sandwiches at Wendy's. For a limited time, choose any 2 of your favorite breakfast sandwiches, including the fresh Kraken Sack Muffin, Honey Buttermilk Chicken Biscuit, Double Sausage Muffin, or the Sausage, Egg, and Cheese Biscuit. Wash it all down with our cold brew shake or coffee. Better mornings always start at Wendy's. Wendy's, different inside and out. Excludes airport locations.
Everyone should experience a brand new car, but not everyone can afford one. Until now, Bahamas Bus and Truck has the answer. The stylish, spacious, feature-rich, yet affordable Mitsubishi Atrage. Priced at $21,900, including a 3-year warranty, why not come and experience the value that Mitsubishi has built into the Atrage today? Bahamas Bus and Truck, the country's only authorized Mitsubishi dealer. Telephone 322-1722.
Hello, my name is Dr. Dane Bowe, orthopedic surgeon and currently chairman of the Bahamas Medical Council. Here are the facts about the AstraZeneca vaccine. Tens of thousands of people participated in the stage 3 clinical trials, and there were no instances of serious illness or death attributed to the vaccine. That safety record has held steady as the vaccine has been rolled out to millions of people around the world. The AstraZeneca vaccine is cost-effective to purchase, and since it does not require ultra-cold storage like other popular vaccines, it is easier to ship and store, making it a popular choice for many countries around the world, including the Bahamas. It is projected that over 200 million doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine will be produced per month as production ramps up to save even more lives, establishing it as one of the leading COVID-19 vaccines. To learn more about the COVID-19 vaccines, kindly visit us at opm.gov.bs/ vaccine.
Have an outstanding real property tax bill? Take advantage of our Real Property Tax Forgiveness Program. Bring your account to zero and receive a 50% discount on your outstanding tax and surcharge past 180 days. Or get a payment plan. Make a 25% deposit on your outstanding tax, receive a 100% waiver on the surcharge, and pay the difference within 36 months, interest-free. Contact the Department of Inland Revenue at 225-5778 or email us at rptforgive@bahamas.gov.ps. Offer ends May 31st.
You asked for it, and now it's here. Introducing the all-new plant-based Rebel Whopper only at Burger King Nassau. The new Rebel Whopper is everything you expect in a Whopper with a meatless plant-based patty that is flame grilled to put all the fixins you love on that famous sesame seed bun. Come try out the new Rebel Whopper with fries and a Pepsi and see if you can tell the difference. The Rebel Whopper is 100% Whopper, 0% beef, and only at Burger King Nassau, where taste is king.
TF Express Delivery, the Uber for items, packages, and documents. It's the Bahamas' most efficient domestic delivery service. We pick up and deliver for businesses and individuals, and we're open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for deliveries anywhere in Nassau. TF Express Delivery, the Uber for items, packages, and documents. Call us today at 815-4628 or visit our website, tfxdelivery.com.
While 100,000 Bahamians need food assistance and thousands are out of work due to COVID, the government hired an expensive British QC, making thousands of dollars an hour, to fight against their own people and defend foreigners trying to get rich off our soil. We get jammed twice. Which politicians are benefiting from the BPC oil deal? Sign the petition today at stopbahamasoildrilling.com. Hashtag no drill, no spill.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to The Revolution. I'm Juan McCartney, Guardian Radio 96.9. Want to remind you to hop on over to Carrie's Fabric and Uniform and take advantage of their Easter sale. Get up to 50% off fabrics. Customize your child's Easter baskets in their Create Your Own Basket section. They have everything you need. That's Carrie's Fabric and Uniform store on Mackey Street. Telephone 393-0758, 393-0758. All right, Easter's coming. Get all your stuff from Carrie's. All right. Let's get back to where we were. Let's do some of your text messages. We're talking about Freeport. We're going to continue this. What are we going to do about Freeport, about Grand Bahama? All right. It says, why not just buy the Port Authority, bro? Like, at least you'd own any possibilities of profit. Also, that remove any fee obligations to the port. Like, why not just buy the authority? Well, again, I said at some point you got to consider that, right? At some point you're going to have to consider it, to me. And that's what Ingram suggested. And Ingram suggested and everyone roll him out, you know. It says, Juan, I know one mature worker at Inland Revenue who's great. One of the younger ladies made my mom cry from frustration, and she hung up the phone on her. Boy, is it me? Because I often don't know if my experiences are different because someone would recognize my name and they know I might call them out on it on air, or they're afraid I might do that. Because I went somewhere recently and they didn't have a product that I often pick up, and they were like, "Now don't say we don't have it on the radio now." I was like, I'm not going to do that to you. Well, let me ask a simple question, even before we talk about PPPs. Who had an insurable interest in the airport in Grand Bahama prior to the hurricane? When it comes to the PPPs, where's the transparency in the selection process? Let a private entity purchase from another private entity and let the government get fees. I see us getting shafted as a people again. Now, normally, right? I say I feel you. But Grand Lucayan, I don't understand why the government just didn't broker a deal as opposed to buy in the thing. Because they only had to sign off on it and give concessions. But the government seems to feel comfortable losing money on this and losing our taxpayer dollars while they sit around to broker a deal anyway. So you didn't have to transfer it from them to you and sell it to somebody else. You could have just brokered the deal, which is what you do. Like, so for instance, right? Because if the government start doing that, we can die, right? If this becomes like, so when the Four Seasons in Exuma closed, Ingram didn't go, well, let me go buy the Four Seasons, because it's come on, He said, let me go find a buyer for the Four Seasons, and that's what he did. All right, so you can't buy every hotel that fall down because the employee, if you want to take in employees, that's one thing. To buy the hotel is a totally different animal, right? So Atlantis, you ain't go, but let the government buy Atlantis. No, you're going to say, let's find a buyer for it. Now, normally I would agree with you, but I'm going to say on this that unlike the hotel, the airport is too important to allow to just sit there and we already own 29 other airports. So if we could get one more under the right conditions, it's not going to hurt like that. Transparency in the process, I don't know. Okay, I got Aguilar's speech. I'm going to pick out the parts I need and get back to you with more information on the other side so we can see how this thing going to work for real. It says, good afternoon, Juan. You have privileges all around. I guess, man. I know Big Shot. They were very cooperative with me. And I just appreciate that they were so professional in how they operated and very efficient, I might say. Now, I have heard one or two people tell me they've had bad experiences, but I have not had that. This says, why the government clinic at Elizabeth Estates have portable toilets for persons to use. It's nasty and dirty. They think we're animals. Tell this lousy government stop trying to treat people like this. Remove the portable toilet. The portable toilets at Elizabeth Estates Clinic. I don't know. I passed by Elizabeth Estates Clinic last week, and I saw that they were doing construction. But I don't know anything about portable toilets, so I can't speak to it. All right? You see they redoing the facade at A&E. I don't know what else they're doing in there. I think they said something about it before. It looks nice. A lot of Duroc going on, though. You know what I'm saying? Got a little close to the water there for, maybe could have put some bricks, some blocks, It says, Juan, who picked that weird heavy metal music for Morning Blend business intro? Please make it stop. I would assume Dwight picked it. This said, hey, Juan, it's the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection. BEST is no longer relevant. It's not? Okay, if it's Department of Environmental Planning and Protection that's responsible for the carnival board, then they need to get on it. All right. It says, Juan, there's a difference between value creation and value extraction. Our negotiators don't understand the difference. We need people who understand to negotiate for us. Yep. I think that I'm gonna pick out some more of the parts of the terms of the airport deal, but I'm net positive on purchasing of the airport. But that's just the first step. I also don't understand why it took this long to negotiate this deal, and because it still hasn't been signed as far as I'm aware. But I don't get it. All right. It says, tell that texter to stop lying on the Elizabeth Estates Clinic. The only thing portable outside are hand washing stations Patients use the bathroom in the clinic once they've been screened outside. Okay, well, there you go. See, and that's why I don't like talking what I don't know. So that's why. It says, Juan, it's only you sucking my teeth. Inland Revenue gives terrible service. That's crazy. You know what this is like? Like if you're dating this pretty girl and everyone tells you she's like a psychopath, but she's so nice to you. You can't. You're like, I don't know. I got no issues with him. I maybe, you can tell him I said, give you a call. Right? It says, Juan, it's politics. It's been played as they always do. Christie and them did it, so they place it on the back burner while Bahamians suffer and then play the blame game. Now, I don't know if that's it, but whatever it is, they got to get cracking on it. That port, right? So if Carnival say, hey, we want a port and we want to move forward and we want to build it, put Bahamians to work, then by all means, let's do it. I know you want to cross your T's and dot your I's with the environmental stewardship, but you really to continue this reputation of the Bahamas being a place where projects go to die in bureaucracy, a lot of the times. So you really, with these major global conglomerates, they're making serious business decisions and they don't care, right, how good the conch salad is or how nice of people you are. All they care is about really on that level when they're sitting on the boardroom. Yeah, I've been in the Bahamas. I tried to do business there. Don't do it. Right? Their board members, a chairman of a board of a project he had that couldn't get through the National Investment Council, whatever. He's sitting around the board going, nope, not Bahamas. Let's pick somewhere else in the Caribbean. They don't care. You see they put in Puck now? Listen, I don't want to live in the Bahamas where y'all have just totally lost y'all mind. Y'all are wilding out here. Pineapple don't go on crack conch. I'm sorry. I can't help you with that. All right. We got to go to the news. We'll be back on the other side. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to The Revolution here on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. My name is Juan McCartney, so good to have you with us. We are talking about the sale of the Grand Bahama International Airport. I have more details. However, in about 5 minutes, we're going to be talking with BAIC as they're celebrating 40 years for a few minutes, and then we'll get back to our discussion. So let's get some of these details out the way, the nitty-gritty of it. So, again, Hutchison owns the port. We're buying the airport from Hutchison. We are paying $1 for the airport itself. However, that is not going to be the end price. So we're purchasing the airport, the Agler says, for $1. However, we're going to assume a portion of staff-related costs. That I don't understand because that doesn't square with what he said about Hutchison having the employees severed and them paying the severance. But anyway, the staff-related costs should not exceed $1 million. So let's call it what it is. We're purchasing the airport for $1 million. And then he says we're putting another $1.5 million in to repair the control tower and some of the Hurricane Dorian devastation. Replace the elevator system in the airport control tower, create office space in the old domestic terminal, and effect repairs to the current cargo building, and also explore what's necessary to reopen the U.S. pre-clearance facilities. All right. So we are spending 1.5 on that. So we're essentially paying 2.5 million for the airport. That's not crazy. I'm still net positive. For that, we're going to get 2,500 acres of land, an 11,000 foot long runway that was recently resurfaced, taxiways, ramps, etc. for an investment of, let's call it a $2.5 million. All right, I'm not tripping off that. I'm not tripping off that. That's fine if we got a plan and we can figure it out. It says it's the light skin privilege, Juan. You don't see it yet? Well, it can't be light skin privilege if they can't see me. Or they just know I'm light skinned. Oh, there you go. You know, with light skin privilege comes great responsibility. For instance, do you notice that if you're light skinned, do you notice that vagrants often expect you to give them money? Or they linger longer at your car door? Like they don't take the first no? Like it's got to be like 6, 7 no's, I notice. But the other light-skinned people, they just move on. They figure they're serious. I guess they look at you. Come on, you're light-skinned. You have money. We're not gonna pretend. Maybe I just look like money. All right. This says, "Hi Juan. Bahamians ironically respond to you better when you speak proper and appear to be educated. If you are poor and a little slow, duck got your lunch." Okay. This says, "Good afternoon, Juan. I'm still waiting for my payment to be applied to my account for real property since 10th of March. They are acting up when I call. They're crazy. I haven't received these problems. It's electronic though. I made a payment and it registered immediately. Well, the money it all registered immediately with me. Good day, Juan. I have a small business and I too have had excellent service from Inland Revenue. This is Juan, the Bahamas. Government owns 10% of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, so the people should not be shafted. What's really going on? I'm out to, and anyone under the sound of my voice, right? Does anyone, and I researched this for months. Does anyone know what happened to the shares the government of the Bahamas has in the Grand Bahama Port Authority? Anyone? The trail went cold at Royal Bank, and then Royal Bank told me they don't know anything about it, which I guess they wouldn't tell me because bank secrecy, but I couldn't find it. I searched and searched and searched. This says, Juan, what was the cost of LPIA then compared to Eleuthera, Exuma, Long Island, and Grand Bahama? What's the real investment cost by the government from residents of Grand Bahama? We're listening. LPIA costs about $450 million to get to what you see now. Again, Eleuthera and Exuma, each at $65 million, and Long Island at $45 million, so that's $175 million for those airports there. I mean, a quick math, you're looking at $625 million, right? So this ain't no light venture we undertaken. And if you throw in the $50 million, then, you hitting almost $700 million. But the thing is, through the PPPs, we wouldn't be on the hook for all of that, ultimately. All right? I mean, ultimately, we own the airport, but, This says, Juan, do those airport employees become government employees when the deal is signed and all in sundry perks? No, they're going to be severed, and the government will decide who they want to rehire, the airport authority. Will we inherit the debt of the airport? What I understand, no. That's what I understand. We don't inherit any debt associated with it. That's my understanding of it. Good follow-up question, but as far as I understand, no. Okay. We have with us today representatives from the Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation who are going to be speaking to us about BAIC's 40th anniversary. On the line with us, I do believe we have Ms. Debbie Strawn, the Senior Deputy Lester Stewart, the Assistant General Manager, and Martin Albury. Good afternoon, gentlemen and lady. Are you there? Welcome to the Revolution.
Good afternoon, I'm here.
Excellent. This is Ms. Strawn I'm speaking with.
Yes, it is.
Right, is Mr. Stewart and Mr. Albury, are they here?
Yes, they are.
Okay, great. So BAIC celebrating 40 years. That's interesting. I did not know the BAIC has been around for 40 years to begin with. So tell us about what's happening there and some of the strides that you've made and how you're moving forward.
Well, BAIC was started in 1981 after it was Bahamas Development Corporation, Agricultural Corporation, and they all came together. They dissolved, and Bahamas Agricultural Industrial Corporation, BAIC, was born in March of 1981. And that's why we're celebrating 40 years this month.
So what does BAIC do? Because I think people hear BAIC and they're not quite clear on exactly what it is that's done.
Well, BAIC does quite a bit, and the mandate of BAIC is to facilitate and assist new businesses. We have departments with entrepreneurial planning and development, and that assists new businesses if they need business plans, if they need to talk about whatever related to business startup. Our business development department will assist them, and that's why Lester Stewart is here, so that he can talk to the audience as well as yourself in Entrepreneurial Summit this evening.
Okay.
Yes, so if I may continue, BAIC, Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation, when persons hear about us, they many times stop at agricultural, and they think that's all we are, but there's an industrial side as well, and that is where I come in with respect to the Department Entrepreneurial Planning and Development Department. And in keeping with that, I just want to share that this evening at 6:30, this department also offers business seminars. And this evening, there's going to be this Business Empowerment for Entrepreneurs Summit at 6:30, and it's to the general public. In fact, it's going to be accessible via Zoom and Facebook and YouTube across the Bahamas.
Okay, Business Entrepreneur Summit. What are you going to cover there this evening?
Well, we are inviting, for the most part, the financial gurus of the country, Mrs. Davinia Grant of the SBDC. She's the executive director. She's going to be here. Also, Ms. Renita Campbell she's a fund administrator of Bahamas Entrepreneurial Venture Fund. And then there's Bahamas Development Bank personnel will be here as well. And so they're going to share their offerings. Many persons nowadays, to help them entrepreneurially, money is the first thing that comes to their mind, even though it is not the first thing we discuss when we advise them and when we consult with them. Mm-hmm. But we are bringing those persons in not only to talk about funding, but they are also industry professionals and business professionals that can articulate business. And they know it from before COVID and during Dorian, and they will be the ones who we believe can help to assist in the entrepreneurial community post-Dorian to higher heights and to experience their dreams.
Excellent. So BAIC, when I think about it, like you say, I often stop at agriculture, but when you probe deeper, particularly if you go where BAIC headquarters is, there's actually quite a bit going on there at the industrial park. So tell us a bit about that.
Well, in the industrial park, we have buildings. Well, buildings are erected at present, and they are leased at concessional rates to our tenants. And we also have leases not only here in the Soldier Road Industrial Park, but also at our Fire Trail Road location, where mostly that's industrial land leased. We We also lease land in Eleuthera, Abaco, Andros, as well as Grand Bahama.
Excellent. So some of the things that Bahamians have been involved in terms of industry, light manufacturing, we'd look at some chemical processing. I know we've done ice and water processing out there. I know that there are also some other light industries out there that are actually picking up steam, like storm shutters and storm windows and storm frames. How do people network and find out more about how to get into light manufacturing and industry in this country? Because I've had someone who's asked me, and they say, well, they asked me for contact information on the Light Manufacturing Industries Association, but they said that wasn't really the key to getting what they needed to know. How do you get the information on how to get into light manufacturing industry, all this?
Well, I will tell you, Juan, we have quite a number of people who contact us via the old-fashioned way, via telephone line, asking for those specific information, and we direct them because for starters, they need to know what to do, where do they go, 1, 2, 3 plan, and that is where Mr. Stewart and his department comes in, and he assists them from beginning to end. And even after they would have established their business, Mr. Stewart and his team would still hold their hand and help them throughout the process. So BAIC is there for the entrepreneur, the small business, beginning to the middle and to the end. And that's the purpose for us having this summit this evening, because as Mr. Stewart says, a lot of people want to know, they need funding, they need that capital injection, whether it's to start up or they just need something to keep them going. And that's where BAIC comes in and assists. Also, BAIC, we have a handicraft development department, and that department assists from, it started in 1999. We have assisted over 3,000 individuals in training in using their hands, using Bahamian natural resources to increase their income, to increase their revenue. And we have a number of workshops in straw-craft manufacturing, conch shell jewelry making, soap making. So, and we have wonderful master craftsmen who have gone through the BAIC program, who have now come back, and they are the instructors in those areas. And we have quite a number of entrepreneurs who are doing quite well in the country, especially pre-COVID. And now they're coming back to us this weekend from Mega Market. And we invite the entire country, especially everybody in New Providence, to come out and support them on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And during that time, we have so much giveaways. So BAIC is that place where you can come for whatever you need when it comes to starting your business.
Excellent. So someone's asking me how many industries, manufacturers, foreign direct investment would you say you've brought into the Bahamas in the last 10 years, and how many jobs that would have created? Is that something that you've done?
We have done it in minimal proportions. It's in that particular area, BAIC has not been so involved. But I will tell you, when it comes to Bahamian businesses, that's where BAIC comes in, and we help you from A to Z.
Awesome. Yes. Okay, go ahead.
If I may continue, we're not focused too much on FDI, but in terms of domestic,
right?
You may know that we have 2 industrial parks, as our senior DGM would have mentioned.
Yes.
And in our parks, there are numerous manufacturers. There's export-import a company. There's and I'll just, because it's public, there's Bahamas Striping. We have a switcher. Also in our park is, water companies, et cetera, et cetera. Many people are not aware. The park in Soldier Road, Industrial Park, which is on Old Trail Road and Abundant Life, and then on Gladstone Road. And each day, persons are coming in wanting to find out how they can get a piece of the rock, meaning a piece of property, so that they can start their business. And of course, we do this at concessionary rate.
Yes.
And these are not just agricultural or handicraft projects. These are projects across the ecosystem.
So let's flip it the other way around. So I have a cousin, Indy Weish, right? And she has a company called Bahamas Spa. And she makes soaps and things of this nature. It's honestly the best smelling soap I've ever had. And I think she could compete with anybody out there. How does she not only grow her market with the help of BAIC locally, but how she push that out to the world? Because I think, she's got a world-class product.
It's so good that you talk about Indy Beach at Bahamas Spa, because we have collaborated with one of our partners in the Caribbean Development, Caribbean Export Development Agency.
Okay.
And I will tell you that Indy Beach was one of those persons who was accepted by CEDA for a program that they had with women in export in the Caribbean. And she partnered with, she had she had somebody assisting her out of the UK, I think it was. So Indy Weish is one of those persons, as you say. Her product is extraordinary.
Yeah.
And I believe it's one of the best here in the country. And she has had that international exposure. And she is one of those persons who is an other Bahamian small manufacturers to follow.
Excellent. Now, this says, can BAIC help me getting Crown land? I assume for some sort of business, I guess. Do you do that?
BAIC, well, it's not Crown land. We have land that's granted to us through the Crown that we lease. And as Mrs. Stewart and myself have said already, we lease it at concessionary rates.
Okay.
In Andros, here in New Providence, it's minimal because we in New Providence being the epicenter when it comes to where most of our people live, there's Eleuthera, the former Hatchet Bay Plantation, and there's Abaco. So there's much land that can be leased to Bahamian entrepreneurs, small businesses.
It's interesting you should mention Hatchet Bay. My cousin, another cousin, Jermaine Cancino, these are all from the McCartney side, he's got a company down there, Lutrapure, in Hatchet Bay, that he says that he's working to build critical mass with. Now, we also, if we're looking at Hatchet Bay, and you say the former Hatchet Bay plantation, how do you access that land and do you lend support? Because my wife has this dream of having a farm on the islands. I think she's just playing with that. But if like one day she were serious and said, well, I want to do some farming on the islands, how do you go that route?
I will invite her to go to our BAIC page and to our website, and she can fill out the application online. And our property and lands department will receive that. And once she has all the criteria, I am sure she will hear from somebody here at BAIC.
And so do you also provide help with funding and the infrastructure, et cetera, like that, if I want to set up something?
Okay, I'll answer that. And the short answer is no.
Okay.
And the long answer is, when we do our business plans, we try to craft bankable plans such that it gets in the door of the funding agencies. Mm-hmm. And so some years ago, way back when, we did experiment with that funding, and it didn't work very well. So we just focused on business advisory, business coaching, business mentoring, hand-holding, incubation, etc. and we leave the funding to the funding experts. And the persons who would wish to hear from them, institutions here in the Bahamas, they can come out this evening, meaning on Zoom. And if, with your permission, can just give you the Zoom ID, the passcode, and they can just hear from the funding experts.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yes, so the meeting, the Zoom ID is 834-6399-2055.
You got to slow down, slow it down. Say it again for me.
Yes, so the ID is 834-6399-2055, and the passcode or the password is 880534. And so if you tune in, you'd be able to hear from the professionals, the funding experts, the funding SMEs, subject matter experts, and they will be able to share their offerings.
Right. I don't know how your time is, but I do have a couple more questions, if that's okay.
That's fine.
Okay, so I'm trying to get over the finish line here. So if I'm getting a lease for some crown land from BAIC to start my small-scale farming, I want to do some chicken farming, right? I'm trying to connect the dots. How do I get the chickens? How do I get it work? How do I work with the SBDC lease in hand to get over the finish line to start my business?
Well, can I tell you, if you're looking to begin chicken production at the moment, we work directly with the Ministry of Agriculture, and the Ministry of Agriculture, Department of Agriculture, they were working on a chicken, they were doing a chicken project whereby you were able to apply and you could get a certain amount of chicken free. Layers, we call them layers. You can get some layers free if you meet the criteria. And that can start you on your way.
So the layers are for the eggs and the broilers are for the actual chicken that you eat.
So there you go, that's it.
Okay, gotcha. I got another question. So you're having a mega market thing this weekend. Tell me about that, please.
Well, the mega market is being held beginning tomorrow, Thursday. It goes until Saturday, and each day it's going to be from 8 to 6. It's going to be right here at the Soldier Road Industrial Park, and it's artisans coming together along with our produce. So we are having the produce exchange will be open extended hours. Instead of closing at 3, it will go until 6. And on Saturday, they usually close at 12, but we will be going until 6. And we have over 20 artisans that will also be a part of the mega market, and they will be here as well, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And I know so many of us are into buying Bahamian. We believe in Bahamian products. And for those who just want to see what's new in the marketplace, we invite them to come down to the mega market. We'll be giving away quite a number of things free. We're going to have some specials. We're giving away the backyard garden kits. We're giving away 40, 40, 40. So for 3 days, we're going to be giving away free. You must purchase something from the produce exchange, show your receipt, and you can get a free backyard gardening kit.
Okay, free backyard gardening kit coming. All right, excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it, and I've learned something today. And we got the seminar this evening. It's on Zoom. We got the meeting ID and the passcode. And where else can we go to get more information about BAIC?
Well, you can get more information from BAIC on our Bahamas Agricultural Industrial Corporation Facebook page or on the World Wide Web at BAIC.com. And we're also on Instagram. You put in BAIC, Bahamas Agriculture, you pull us up. So we are on the cutting edge when it comes to technology. So you can just click BAIC and we pop up.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you so much. I hope you have a successful meeting tonight, as well as a successful mega market. All right, and happy anniversary.
Thank you much. Appreciate it.
All right. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back on the other side. Oh, someone's asking me, where is your cousin's store? I don't know that she has a physical location as yet, but you can check her out on Facebook at the Bahamas Spa, okay? Or it's just Bahama Spa, or the website's thebahamaspa.com. I'm deathly serious. It's the best soap for men I've ever smelled, although I won't lie to you. I think the Dove sport soap for men is pretty good, but this is way, 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 way better than that. Be right back.
Junior just showed me Bella Boy in his phone.
What you mean? He take picture of that good-for-nothing boy?
Shh, you don't want Bella here. You say that. You know she always say that's my good child.
So what he doing in Junior phone?
Oh, he there because the police looking for him. He on their wanted list.
Wanted persons in your phone now?
Yes, child. And when police want to find anybody quick, after something happen, they can send picture direct to your phone. Go to Google Play or App Store and search for Crack Crime Bahamas. Then pick install and it will go straight to your phone.
There is also a section on missing persons?
Yes, girl. Everybody needs to get this app so police can tell us right away when these people go missing. Just like an alert system.
Yes, it has numbers for Crime Stoppers Bahamas, so you can call and nobody knows it's you. Call directly to Miami and give the information without giving your name or anything about you. I tried the other day, and when I hear Junior and his boys talking about where they hide those guns, I walk quick round the corner and call that number.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what you're banking, bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Always on the go? Missed the show? You can now listen to Guardian Radio talk shows anytime, anywhere on Spotify and YouTube by searching Guardian Radio 96.9 FM or by entering the name of your favorite show. You can also listen by logging on to GuardianTalkRadio.com and clicking on the podcast tab. Guardian Radio, continuing to provide you with fresh news and smart talk anywhere, anytime, all day.
Think safety first. Get to know LA Impact Windows and Doors. For the lowest and affordable quality hurricane impact windows and doors, garage doors, showers, shutters, casement and sliding windows and doors for residential and commercial business, installation, glass and roll-up shutter repairs, special discounts for contractors and senior citizens, easy layaway plans too. Feel safe with LA Impact Windows and Doors, located in the Southland Plaza, East Street South, just 3 doors north of the Teachers Credit Union offices. LA Impact Windows and Doors, impacting your view. Phone 322-3667.
Good afternoon, Bahamas. Welcome to the Revolution here on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. My name is Juan McCartney, so good to have you with us. All right, we're buying an airport, guys. So for basically $2.5 million, 2,500 acres of land, which is solid. And we're going to get a new runway, which the runway alone's got to be worth $10 million. And some dilapidated buildings. We're going to build a new airport. Tell me what you think. If you want to, 323-6232, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4316, 325-4259. It says, I don't know, man. It's hard to beat Irish Spring soap for best smelling. I'm telling you, I'm currently using, I know you don't want all this information, I'm currently using Irish Spring because I couldn't find the Dove for Men, right? But the Dove for Men, there's a red one and a green one, and it's awesome, but her soap smells better. I keep trying to find the other Dove for Men scents. I guess they just make these 2 for men, and they make like 15 for women. But maybe that's not the case. You ever been, like if you go to the grocery store, the food store here, and you see like the pink Oreos, and you go like, ooh, pink Oreos. This is how exotic, you know what I mean? Then you go to Walmart, and they got like 30 types of Oreos. What? Y'all been doing all this? I didn't know it was like this. How many Oreos y'all got? Good afternoon. Welcome to the revolution. Hello. Good afternoon.
If you'd like.
No, I mean, okay. I didn't have you on hold that long. 323-6232, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4316, and 325-4259. Y'all don't care? We buy no town grandmama? All right. This is, I want to hear from Freeport people's opinion on the airport. What do they want and think? I think they want a functional airport. I'm just going to assume that for them. This is LOL, we buying back what once belonged to us. Well, boy, the Chinese really have us Bahamas payments figured out. You make a point. But that was 20 years ago we sold it to Hutchison. And they don't want it. Is it, what is it? I mean, you got to stay on the line if you're going to. All right, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. The text line is 422-4796, 422-4796. It says, so we own the 2 money losers on Grand Bahama, and the port authorities in China owns everything else while maintaining rule. In my humble opinion, we should have bought out the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Now, you could buy it out and outsource it just like you're outsourcing it to a management company, but you don't have to have this eternal conflict with the port if that's the case, right? And so I think, to me, it's easier to make moves like that. Because, no shade to the port, I don't think the families that own the port are that dedicated to it any longer, right? Says, totally with you on the Dove for Men, smell and feel. So if she's better than that, I'm in. I mean, it's so good, the soap. It's like I use it sparingly on special occasions, right? When I want to like treat myself, because I don't want to use it up. Good afternoon. Welcome to the revolution.
Yes, how you doing, Juan?
I'm good. How's it going?
Yes. Let me ask you a question, Juan.
Shoot.
What would you say if you went into a store and say homeless quadriplegic buying shoes and gloves?
Like, what's the point, right? What are you doing?
So this is what the purchase of the hotel and the airport and the other concessions that we're giving, where we are going to be, believe it or not, don't worry, you'll hear about the port deal, the harbor deal in a minute that goes along with the hotel.
Tighten that up for me. I don't quite get the analogy.
What happens is we don't have an economic plan for Grand Bahama that ties into an economic plan for even the Bahamas, but
Gotcha.
we're buying a hotel that we say going to utilize the economics of the Bahamas, of Grand Bahama and the Bahamas.
Right.
No one has seen a plan in 4 years for the revitalization. They've given back tax concessions to the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Side note, there's nothing to buy from the Grand Bahama Port Authority because they have stripped the assets. All of the assets of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement has been stripped and relies in Cayman and other places. The only thing left from Grand Bahama that pays revenue to the Grand Bahama Port Authority is the water company that's selling salt water.
The power company.
No, it doesn't. No, the power company it is now owned 100% by Amera.
Okay.
They forced the Bahamians out of that.
What about the land? The land. We got the land.
That's the land that we give concessions to the tune of $150 to $300 million per year that they don't have to pay taxes on.
Right.
But they have zero income because 80% of the businesses on Grand Bahama that paid money to the Port Authority no longer exist because of the hurricane. And now COVID even impacted a little less left. And the water company is where they look to pay money from is there. They have no asset. They're out of ideas or anything for developing Grand Bahama. Now, when you look at what has been done to Hubert Alexander Minnis, you call it the Bahamian government. In 97, when the FNM or whatever, 92 to that 97 time, when they bent Hutchison over because they wanted the harbor and forced him to buy that hotel. In case you don't know.
I remember, yeah.
Hubert Alexander Minnis was president of the Lacaille Hotel grouping of properties and everything when they forced him to buy it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, oh, yes, he was. He was president. I'll send you the documents. He was the president of the mortgage, of all of them. In fact, the money that's owed to the casino is, I think, like $11 million or something from years ago. Hubert Minnis was president of it at the time, at the casino at the time that money was owed.
So we got, come on, Sian, we got, 100,000 acres of land? Maybe not that much, right? But
no, the Port Authority initially had the 70,000 acres. This has been expanded beyond. And in fact, the Port Authority practically own all the beachfront property all the way to East Grand Bahama.
Right, and most of the marinas.
Right, and so what I'm simply saying is that, but when you look at the taxation regime and the fact that we have continuously hobbling them, see, the problem is when you look at the Hawksbill Creek Agreement, it's a threat to governance as we know it in the Bahamas, because the Hawksbill Creek Agreement anticipated municipal government in August of 1990. They gave the whole Bahamas this garbage called local government. But again, we had the ability to self. The Hawksbill Creek Agreement also called for land registry. But see, the problem is there's a whole little host of things that the Port Authority, the Hawksbill Creek Agreement called for, but here's the catcher. It says no law applied in Freeport should apply. You can create no law to apply to Bahamas and Freeport. It doesn't apply to every place else.
Right.
So when you create a law for Freeport like municipal government, or you create a law for self-taxation, or you create a law for land registry, it happens in all of the Bahamas. So they have been systematically lying to us, because remember now, the Hawksbill Creek Agreement is laws on the books of the Bahamas. So they say to you, the Hawksbill Creek Agreement all is extended. It's never been extended. Here's why. To change a law, you must first strike down the old. So if the Hawksbill Creek Agreement old laws have never been struck down, there's never been any extension. What happens for the 2 or 3 occasions is they have brought something to delay the implementations of the tenets of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement. So what I do is say, we want to delay the implementation of these things, and that's what we've been doing for 30 years.
So let's say we get rid of the port. There's money in Grand Bahama. I refuse to believe there's not.
No, actually, Juan, if you and I was to ever have a conversation, and I had a meeting with business people yesterday, you would get your mind blown at the potential of what Grand Bahama is. Just use an example. You know, in Miami, the mayor of Miami, Suarez, he made 140-character text in response to Musk. Go and Google Miami Tech Hub. All over the world, they are now talking about a tech hub in Miami.
Right.
In over the last 3 months. That area in Miami is minuscule compared to the potential that Grand Bahama and the Bahamas has as a whole. But the problem is that we have individuals who are trying to redecorate the old model of economics and ignoring the forward-thinking development of Grand Bahama and the entire Bahamas.
Now, if you talk to Ian Roll, who runs the port, right? Yeah. He'll tell you.
Is he still there?
As far as I know.
I know. That's what I'm asking, because you know, January 6th made his 13th year as president, and he has not he's not even brought a food bank to the Bahamas. I'm not talking about a business.
But if you talk, that's fine. But if you talk to him, he'll tell you that the government is the issue, because they have stuff in the pipeline. The government and the Chinese, right?
13 years? No, the Chinese has taken the position on that same harbor and the airport. See, the reason why Hutchison Whampoa has taken insurance money like they did on the hotel, after the second or third time of being struck by hurricane, is uninsurable and regular thing. So the government itself has to now give a sovereign guarantee for that airport, because we could no longer get insurance. But Hutchison had a problem from the last time the hurricane struck, when the Grand Bahama Port Authority has never brought any money to the table for the deals for Hutchison Whampoa, but every September when dividends are paid, they're there to pick up their share. And so this is how the whole combunculation happened. In fact, all of this is in the McKinsey report, not the redacted copies that y'all got. There's about 3 or 4 reports over the last decade.
You keep telling me it's some hidden McKinsey report now. They table it in Parliament.
No, they table a redacted report. And there's another name also of some other reports they have. I'll get the name of them, and I'll make sure I get it to you. But I'm saying to you, don't get the unredacted McKinsey report, okay? Not that You know, like, you remember how you say the summary of the economic recovery plan, if you haven't seen the rest of it? That's what they table in Parliament. And so what happens is, if you can't see the finances, remember now, the Hawkesbury Creek Agreement calls for the Minister of Freeport. In case you don't know Juan McCartney, we've had a Minister of Freeport since 1955. The laws of the Bahamas says an audited report on the Hawkesbury Creek Agreement is to be tabled in Parliament biannually, every 2 years. It has never been done. Simonet was being the Minister for Freeport, followed by Selina Lapinlin, followed by Hubert Ingram, followed by David Thompson, followed back by Hubert Ingram, followed by Perry Christie, followed by Hubert Ingram, followed by Perry Christie, now in the hands of ministers. This is not Minister of Grand Bahama. Minister of Freeport as called for by law, and an audited table report has yet to occur. By the way,
all right, but
have you seen the 7.5% we own?
No, I don't. I get all that, but just give me the takeaway real quick, because I got to move on.
It's nothing. What is going to happen is we're going to surrender the hotel, the airport, and the harbor, and billions of dollars in tax concession for a few hundred jobs for the cruise industry to bring the Burger King, McDonald's, and whatever type visitors to the Bahamas, rather than reimagining the Bahamas.
All right, my brother. I appreciate it. I appreciate your take. I'm gonna say Sea Island does not think it's a good idea. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Revolution. Good afternoon. Are you there? No. All right, they let go. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Revolution.
Hey, good afternoon, Juan. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Anton?
It's good, man. I'm very concerned about a lot of those pronouncements being made by the Minister of Tourism.
Mm-hmm.
He isn't providing any kind of detail at all for the Bahamian people to be able to intelligently discuss and even understand what all the government is giving up and what all the government is receiving, in order for us to be able to have a sensible discussion on if it makes any sense or not.
What do you mean in terms of giving up?
What concessions are being given up?
We don't get nothing now.
What price is being paid?
Mm.
If there's any financing involved, what are the terms of that financing? Who are the players involved specifically in these private partnerships?
Yeah.
Right, etc. And so when you look at what happens, what the Aguilar is discussing as it relates to the airports, right?
Mm-hmm.
The airports as they currently exist, outside of Grand Bahama, they are owned 100% by the government of the Bahamas, right?
Yeah.
Sea Island just stated in his communication with you that we are now buying back from Hutchinson Whampoa an asset that once belonged to the Bahamian people, before development, right? We don't want to find ourselves in that kind of foolish, idiotic position again moving forward.
But we own all the airports, though.
That's the point that I'm making now, Juan. However, what we are seeking to do through the public-private partnerships that is being discussed by the Aguilar in Parliament as we speak, is put in the driver's seat players who we don't even have any idea what these players are.
I don't think he even knows at this point. But I'm not saying that to clown him. I'm saying because it hasn't been. They haven't even formed a special purpose vehicle yet, right?
It seems as though, based on his discussions, that they have already identified who the people are who are going to develop the airports in one or two instances. Who the people are who are going to.
Oh, you mean the other airports? Yeah, the other, not Grand Bahama.
And so some of them have already been identified. We, the Bahamian public, have no idea what's going on with our own asset.
True.
We, the Bahamian people, are not being afforded an opportunity to even buy in to the development of these projects based on how they structure the deal, right? They're not even taking us into consideration. It's similar to what happened with the Prince George Dock one, where if you didn't have $50,000 set aside, where you can just loosely invest that, you weren't able to that would bring any meaningful returns to you in a short period of time, right? This is the Bahamian people asset one. If it's going to be divested, it should be divested to the Bahamian people's interest. That's my concern, number one, as it relates to the development and maintenance of our airports. And then when you look at what's happening in Grand Bahama, right, Juan? We have a situation where between $150 to $200 million has been spent to date on a rundown hotel.
$200 million now? That's high.
That's the figure that's being touted around in Parliament, between $150 to $200 million, right?
Yeah,
but we don't know specifically. We don't know specifically how much.
We don't. Yeah.
Right? But and that's even more concerning. But getting to my point one, first off, the government started off saying they were purchasing this project to save 1,100 Bahamian jobs, right?
Right.
So this day one, to this day, under less than 80 people, less than 80 Bahamian people are working for the Grand Lucayan. And clearly, they're not working nowhere near 5 days per week because there's no tourism happening on Grand Bahama. They're working.
I got to move on here, Anton. I appreciate you, my brother. Thanks for calling. I got to get to some of their texts. This says, hi, if the Chinese don't want it, you know it's finished. This says, I'm tired of this deceptive messaging. Why did he make big production of purchasing the airport for $1? Everybody bang on the desk. Asking only $1. How you all negotiate that, boss? Deal. Say what? Then he, by the way, says we have to spend $10 million on salaries. It sounds just like the Lucayan deal. No, he said $1 million on salaries and another 1.5 on some infrastructural stuff, which I'm going to chew on that. Off top, I'm going to say I'm okay with that level of investment. All right? It says government should own every major port of entry in the country for national security reasons. That's you could make that argument for real. Good afternoon, Juan. It's my understanding that the existing airport floods, so why they invest in that area? Some time ago, I heard a Grand Bahamian call into the show to say a structure presently exists in 8 Mile Rock that should be considered. It does flood, but there's 2,500 acres of land around there, and some of it's ground that doesn't flood or didn't flood during Dorian for certain. It says, good afternoon, Juan. These guys are a bunch of clowns. 6 months ago, Diageo said it would take years to close the airport deal. Now, all of a sudden, election around the corner. It's been expedited. Plus, the main hospital is not functional to its capacity. Yep, and you also need a hospital for Grand Bahama, too, if you're talking plan for Grand Bahama. It says, come on, Juan, you also got to go with Irish Spring Speed Stick deodorant in conjunction with the Irish Spring soap. As for the Freeport Airport, I know for a fact that you didn't finish your thought there. They have a blue Dove soap for men. Got to try it. Blue, you say? All right. Let me give it a shot. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Revolution. Hello, good afternoon. Nope. All right. This says, Juan, I wonder what other deals or concessions on other projects our government gave the seller of that airport to get it for that $1 million. Now, I don't know what I don't know, so I can't say that didn't happen. But to me, Hutchison, here's the thing, right? So the Grand Lucayan wasn't worth $65 million. But they were able to put you in this pressure position because you didn't want the political ramifications of having that close on your watch. So therefore, you were under pressure. Now, Hutchison is the one under pressure because they have an obligation to the airport and they can't just leave it like that. So rather than spend the money to fulfill that obligation, I'm banking Hutchison is doing the math and going, just have it. And now we ain't got to fool with it. We ain't got to rebuild it. We collected the insurance money. Just have it. And so that's probably the thinking of Hutchison. We got time for one quick call, and then we got to go. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Revolution. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Are you there?
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Hello?
Yes, you can turn your radio off, please, and just talk to the phone. Well, at least I tried. That's going to do it for the show for today. We'll be back tomorrow. All right, I found the parts of the room that I wanted to talk about, so we may dig into that a little bit, and I got some other stuff going on, too. Z Live, Off the Record with Shavargo Lang is up next. You guys take care out there and have a great day, Bahamas.